Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Zymax, and I'm your chief show attendant. On behalf of the two hosts and the rest of the crew, welcome aboard Weird Wednesday Flight number 13, non-stop, from your current location to parts unknown. Our flight will be of about 2 hours, and we'll be flying at the speed of sound. At this time, make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position, and that your seatbelt is currently fastened. Enjoy the ride.
What's happening, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to sort of weird Wednesday. How you guys been doing this past week? I can guarantee you've been doing better than me. uh, I got Swiss cheese brain. I can't even figure out how to work my own computer.
But that's okay.
I think I got some brain damage.
I'm just glad that you're here and you're doing this much already. I thought it'd be at least as fast as you heal. I still thought it'd be at least another week or so before you'd be able to sit up and eat and do this even for half an hour.
Yeah. Again, I've been here sitting around, so I figured might as well come on here and sit around with my friends.
We're grateful for any bit of time that we get to spend with you.
Mm,
I know everybody's been asking about you and worried about you and sending prayers, and I know a lot of people are just glad to see your face,
yeah.
hear your voice.
Yeah, I could definitely use all the prayers I can get. Man, this one's been a bitch, to put it quite bluntly. I'd rather recover from 5 open heart surgeries at once than what I'm dealing with this time around. And my phone's sitting here recording everything I say. Yeah. Delete like 10 minutes worth of talking now. Yeah, I'm I think I'm getting better, but I'm not sure. Some days I think I am, and like yesterday, I was ready to just go jump off a tall building. Yesterday sucked. I'd be lying if I said I haven't been kind of depressed over the last week or two, dealing with all this shit. Sucks to bounce back as good as I did Get back to living and fishing and somewhat working and doing things and just have the freaking rug yanked out from under you again and be like in a worse position than you were to begin with. But, you know, it is what it is. And I'm going to just deal with it. And I'm going to kick its ass and tear it apart and fucking throw it in the trash can. And I'll be back to doing what I do.
And it's harder for you because you are not, when you said like you've been laid up all week, I'm thinking like for some people, they could do that, in their sleep. For you, for one, you got to keep moving, as we know.
Yeah.
You can't be laid up. And for two, your brain must be going insane in your head. Like, talk about a body prison. You are not someone that just sits there and does nothing. Like,
No.
when you're resting, it's because your body has like literally run out of gas, and it's like, dude, you need a rest.
Yeah. Yeah, like today, I got stuff to do. I was gonna run some hot sauce up to the store that's gonna be selling it for me, and I got a couple other things to do, and trying to sell a few things on marketplace. And hey, I was just like, I'm gonna take a nap, and I never take a nap in the middle of the day. My dog was stoked. She loved it. She's like, oh hell yeah, we're in the bed until it started thundering. And then she started freaking out, clawed me in the balls, and ran all over me. So that didn't feel good. And man, her breath today, good God, smelled like she'd ate a bucket of dead sardines. It was bad, man. She was right in my face, just like I was like,
What did she
I don't
eat?
know. It was freaking,
Is that like ass?
freaking horrendous, though. And last night, dude, she was farting, like stunk the entire bedroom up. I don't see how such a little dog can fart so much.
The little ones pack the biggest punch
Ah,
somehow. Like, how is
I
it?
mean, literally, it like,
Knocks
oh
you in the
yeah, it's
face.
bad. It smelled like a.
Did she trip out different when you came back this time compared to the first?
She was a little better this time. She's a weird dog. She was just kind of looking at me like, "Are you gonna stay this time?" I don't know. I don't know if I can trust you. But yeah, she kind of got over it a lot quicker. But yeah, when I came home from the heart surgery, that was the one thing I was looking forward to was walking in the door and having my dog run to me and see her. And dude, she wanted nothing to do with me. Like she just didn't run to the door, nothing. I come in the house and she's just looking at me like, "Who in the f are you, and why are you in my house?"
She smelled your injury. She smelled the hospital. That's why I was thinking, like, with this, you're going to have you in a different smell, because of what you just went through. So I'm thinking, if she was kind of freaked out the first time, is she going to be like more scared? Like, oh no, is he
Yeah,
okay? And get tripped out.
yeah, she can tell that I'm not right because like today, I mean, it started thundering and she was like I say, she was freaking out and she can tell, like
It's a
she can
little
tell
baby.
before it even like 30 minutes before the storm starts. She knows, and but yeah, she was happy I was laying in the bed because she just got up and ran around in a few circles and scratched at the covers and ran over to me and laid on her side and flopped her head on my chest.
Oh,
I'm like, okay, just keep that loaded end away from my face.
yeah, keep it turned away. Not one in the throat, not one in the
Yeah.
chamber.
But yeah, yeah, that first time I came home, man, she wanted nothing to do with me. Kind of hurt my feelings. I was like, damn, looking forward to coming home and seeing my little dog, and she's just dissing the hell out of me. Had nothing to do with me.
I was like, was she excited? Was she stoked? Was she like, oh my God? You're like,
Nope. was like, "You little asshole." She just looked at me like, "You big asshole. I don't know who you are."
But then she came and gave you like a little bit like, okay, I still don't know what's going on. I still love you,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna keep my eye on you
We
for a
got a
minute.
thunderstorm, and yeah, then she came running to me for protection. I'm like, oh, I see how it is. Now
Now
you
you
want to
want
get
me.
next to me, make you go sleep outside in the
Little
rain.
baby. No,
Oh man,
never do that to her.
she's a good dog.
Such a good dog.
Weird one, but a good one. Yeah, it was cool. My neighbor came over. He stopped me yesterday. I was coming back. He stopped me out in front of the house. He's It's my Hungarian neighbor, and he's like, "I'm coming over to cut your grass tomorrow." And I'm like, "Dude, man, you ain't got to do that." He's like, "I know I ain't got to do that, but I want to do that."
Aw.
And I'm like, "Man, I got somebody that should be coming to cut the grass." He's like, "Screw that! Don't pay anybody. I'll do it. I want to do it." Yeah,
Aw.
he's a good dude. It's like, you need anything, you drop something you can't reach, you got to pick something up, whatever. Call me. I live right next door. Yeah, he's a good dude.
That's
He's the one
awesome.
that he's got a 4 or 5 by 8 trailer. A lot of times I use it like if I got to deliver a bunch of planter boxes or something. And he just gave me the key to it, and he's like, "Just use it whenever you want."
Oh my
Yeah, I tried to
goodness.
buy it from him. He's like, "No, I don't want to sell it." He goes, "Here's the key. Just use it whenever you want. Just lock it back up." So yeah, he's a good dude.
That's good. You do so much for. I was like talking to my mom about that the other day. Like you've been there so long, and you're so involved, and you do so much with the community, and you know so many different people. And there's just tons of people that you probably don't even realize, like talk about you or absolutely love you, and you don't even know it.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, we got this guy Rob that comes in. He's a good guy. Blah 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 blah. Oh, I know Rob. Blah 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 blah. Like, that's how I picture it.
yeah, yeah. I got one of my friends. He's a sheriff's deputy, and he was texting me. He was like, "Dude, you need anything? Just let me know. You need your grass cut. You need your house painted. Whatever you need, let me know. I'll come do it." I'm like, "Damn, painting my house. That's a big job, dude." I'd opt for cutting the grass over painting the house, but he's like, "You know what I mean, asshole." Yeah, he's another one of those good dudes that you know he'll just do something for you, and doesn't even expect to thank you. He just does it because that's the kind of person he is.
Yeah, no, like paying it forward or like do this and then I might get something cool back. It's like he just does it to do it because he gives a
Yeah,
shit.
but yeah, man, they tried to whack me this time in the hospital, big time. Yeah, I was pretty close to. I was circling the drain, big time. Blood pressure
Yeah,
bottomed out.
this is pretty bad.
My blood pressure bottomed out. My kidneys started failing. I went into shock from the loss of so much blood. I'm laying there shaking uncontrollably. I'm freezing. I'm burning up. I'm sweating. I'm cold. I'm puking. It's like, geez, man. The only thing that would have made it worse is if I had uncontrollable diarrhea and was shit in the bed. Thank God that didn't happen. Oh, man. It was probably close, though. And I'll tell you one thing, man. This internal bleeding that I have. It caused a huge hematoma in my right leg, like my groin and the top of my right leg, which, your groin is like where any dude doesn't want to have weird shit happening. And they were trying to manually express the blood that was collecting in me, which you may be saying, what does that mean? That means 4 or 5 people applying
Like
pressure.
trying to get the water out of a
Yeah,
waterbed.
like 4 or 5 people applying pressure on my groin, like hardcore, like digging in. And I think it was the worst pain I've ever felt in my entire life. I'm surprised.
And you were awake,
Oh hell
right? Through all this?
yeah,
Were you awake? Oh my God.
yeah, it was. I was wide awake.
Oh
And
my
yeah,
God.
it was fucking brutal, to put it quite bluntly. It was the worst pain I think I've ever felt. It was freaking horrible. I did my best to not just grab somebody by the throat and rip their throat out. They're like, "You're a trooper. You're holding in there." I'm like, "I'm fucking screaming on the inside."
And what choice do you
Yeah, I
have?
mean, I'm trying to be cool. They're doing what they got to do, but dude, man, you can only take so much pain before something happens, and I was like that close to something happening. I let go of a few MFers and some other stuff, but shit, man, it was. And then like all that pressing and all that, then the original Hactor, Dr. Hacky, Dr. Nicky, that screwed my ablation up, that caused all of this. He came in and opened up where the ablation, where the wires and stuff went in my groin. He came in and opened that back, unstitched it, and
Oh
opened
God.
it up to try to get it to bleed and drain. So they're doing that, and I'm laying there, and he's stitching me back up. And he's like, I gave you a little bit of numbing. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not feeling any of that. And so I'm wide awake during all that. And just having all his hands on me and this machine, like I had a sandbag on me, just everything pressing and pressing and then I'm like, plus I'm on blood thinners, so I literally look, my leg is in my groin. It looks like I've been in a freaking train. It looks like I got run over by a train, and just the pain.
A sandbag?
Yeah, a big sandbag.
Were they using like boards and pushing down and shit?
Mainly using their hands, and they had this thing called a film stop, which is a big kind of disc thing, big plastic thing that they put on the area where they got to apply pressure, and then they use this big rubber strap and Velcro to like strap it down and tighten it up. So I got that pressing in my groin. I got people pressing on me, and then I got like a 25-pound sandbag laying on my nuts. That didn't feel good. Yeah, it was quite the nightmare.
So at what point did were they having to administer the transfusion at this point?
They were just trying to stop the bleeding and basically stop me from dying. Like I say, I mean,
Okay.
my blood pressure was bottomed out, my kidneys were failing. I'm in shock. They're me
What was stopping you from dying though?
Well, they were pumping me full of drugs, dopamine, and a couple others. They were trying to keep my heart going, but not mess it up. And what kept me from dying? God and a strong will to live, I guess. I don't know. Um,
When did they do the transfusion?
Later that evening, I got a couple units of blood, And the next morning is when they did the um, procedure where they sliced my leg open to drain this huge
Wow.
hematoma. And so later on that evening, I got more blood. They drained well over a liter of blood out of my leg and my groin. And I don't know, I got like 4 bags of blood. The whole time they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay." "You're not lightheaded, are you? You're not nauseous. You're not," they were just checking because one nurse told me sometimes people react, when they're having a blood transfusion, when that blood hits their system.
Yeah,
Not
yeah, yeah,
yours,
yeah.
And you can't really see it, but I had a big IV in my neck right there is where they were
Oh God.
pumping it in me.
Oh God. I didn't know that's what that tube was. I seen the tube. I didn't know what it was
I
for.
have one in my neck. My arms are still like bruised all the hell and back. They're a lot better than they were. But yeah, I had like 2 in each hand, 2 in each arm, 1 in my neck. I'm covered with all kind of, you know, sensors and shit so they could keep track of my heart, my breathing and all that. And I laid in the bed for almost 8 days and did not move. Not once did anyone come in and say, "Hey, we need to get you up on your feet. Hey, we need to get you to sit in the chair. Hey, we want to get you to at least sit on the side of the bed." Not once did anybody come in there. No physical therapy, no getting up, no put your feet on the ground, nothing. Laid there so long, I started getting a pressure ulcer or a bed sore on my ass. And I kept telling them, my fucking ass, my back is killing me because I've been laying here. I'm not a laying here kind of dude, and I'm trying to like shift around in the bed. Thank God this bed that I had this time was not the Satan's cradle that I had the first time around.
Oh,
This
thank
was like
God.
Satan's cushy couch. It still wasn't good, but it was light years more comfortable than that hell pit that I was in the first time around. I could at least,
It's-
you know, somewhat get comfortable in this. And like as soon as, I'm miserable and my brain's going and my back's hurting, and as soon as I just like, I do these breathing exercises, meditation, whatever you want to call it, to just kind of remove myself from the situation. And I drift off to sleep, for just a few minutes. And I swear to God, every time, "Mr. Autry, we need to get your blood sugar." I'm like, "I'll give you some blood. It's going to come out of your nose if I punch you in it." It's like every hour, blood sugar, every hour, blood pressure. And they always leave. "Okay, now try to get some rest."
Holy
"Yeah, okay."
shit.
And I got the thing on my finger, for my oxygen. And it's just constantly beeping. A couple of times I try, man. I try. I really do. But a couple of times, man, I'd hit the, "Yes, how can I help you?" "Somebody needs to come turn this fucking alarm off." "Oh, we'll be right there." Turn it off before I slam it against the wall. Tell me to get some rest and then leave this piece of shit beeping in my ear. Yeah, that's good rest.
And last time was the
Yeah,
helicopters.
at least those were entertaining. I mean, it was kind of, it's like, "Oh shit, there's a helicopter landing at my window." This time around, there was a few helicopters that landed, but they weren't very busy at all. My uncle, who flies those helicopters, he came to visit me one day, and I was like, "Dude, you guys slow this week?" He's like, "Yeah, actually, we have been." He's like, "Why do you ask?" I'm like, "Because I've been laying here all week, and I've only seen like 3 choppers land." He's like, "Yeah, it's been unnervingly slow."
Hmm. That's a good thing, I guess, right?
For somebody, I guess. Yeah.
Let's see. There's some comments in here from people.
But yeah, the first time I had an ablation done several, a couple years ago. When it's an outpatient procedure, it takes a couple hours. You go in, do the whole pre-op thing. They shave you, and put stickers all over you and take you down there. Put you on the operating table, and they do it. It takes a couple hours. You wake up in recovery. You have no idea what happened. Whatever they give you to put you to sleep, that shit works. They're like, happy dreams. I'm like, dude, just keep me breathing because I'm so out of it. I ain't dreaming a damn thing. I remember him saying, okay, we're putting some medicine in your IV to help you relax. And I'm
Start the count, and you're like
okay.
one.
Yeah. And then, you're waking up the next minute. Seems like minutes have gone by, and I look at the clock, and it's like been 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Wish I had some of that when I want to go to bed at night. I'm going to go take a nap.
But then it would you ever like? Would you actually ever feel arrested? Like you had enough, or would it be like,
Yeah, I
man,
don't know.
I feel like I just laid
Yeah.
down. I don't know.
Yeah, because literally, I mean, I don't know how it is. I can't speak for everybody, but yeah, I wake up and it feels like, I'm like, when are you gonna do? And it's like, oh, we're done. It's like
Yeah.
I'm missing a chunk of time. It feels like 5 minutes to me. So yeah, I don't know. Do you rest in that kind of sleep? I have no idea. It is a
I mean, I guess you still are technically sleeping. It'd be like maybe if you didn't
yeah. I mean,
dream.
you're at least your muscles and everything else is you're not moving, you're not doing anything, but you got a tube down your throat to breathe for you. So I guess at least your body, your muscles and everything gets a break.
Your mind shouldn't be racing.
you're
So
I don't know. But I know one thing. Yeah, they could give me that stuff and they could saw my head off and fill it full of sawdust and I would have no clue. uh yeah. That's some,
that's why they get paid the big
yeah.
bucks. I used to want to be an anesthesiologist a long time ago.
I know they gave me, I forget what the name of the anesthesia is, but they also gave me some fentanyl, which, yeah,
No.
that stuff put me in zero.
I mean, I guess they're regulating the doses and stuff. Though I just hear it, it's like, oh
Yeah.
shit! But you're getting regulated.
Yeah. It was, it was pretty awful. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Not that I really have any enemies, but you know what I mean. I had
Yeah, if you have
I
one.
had some sort of, I don't know if I had like a mini stroke or some sort of weird I had something happen to me in there because I remember the day that I finally did get out of bed, and that was the other cruel thing was they came in and said, "Okay, Mr. Autry, you're going to go home today. We're getting your discharge papers are going through right now." And dude, I was so happy. I almost started crying, like literally. And I'm like, "Are you serious?" And they're like, "Yeah, you're going home. We're getting your discharge papers all together right now." It was like 30, 45 minutes later. They come back in and they're like, "I'm sorry. Looks like you're going to be here for a few more days." I was like, "You motherfuckers." And that was a Friday. So, of course, nothing happens on the weekend at all. Everything just,
Isn't there a backup doctor? Who's his backup
yeah,
doctor? Can they get him on the
I
phone?
know. I'm like, ain't there somebody? I'm sorry. No, you're not.
That's like waiting for the judge and shit.
I I told him I was going to leave. I said I'm just going to leave AMA. Against medical whatever. And yeah,
Advice.
and my nurse freaked out. And she was like, I strongly advise you not to do that. You're in no shape to leave. And I'm like, well, I'm in no shape to be here either. I
But it was,
shouldn't be here, except
I thought it wasn't the shape though. It was they just had to sign off on the machine,
yeah,
so it has nothing to do with what shape you're
yeah, that
in.
was it.
It's can I go home with my machine so I don't get
Yeah,
infected?
I had the wound vac hooked to my wound, and I was supposed to get a portable one, to take home. And yes, just like normal, the whole procedure, somebody dropped the ball, didn't sign for me to get the wound vac. So along comes Friday, and everybody's like, "Ah, we're going home early," and screw that guy, just let him lay there all weekend, you know. So yeah, I thought long and hard about just putting my clothes on and saying, I'm out of here. But, you know, and they said the nurse that was strongly advising me not to do it, she's like, I'm going to have your doctor come in and talk to you. And I'm like, all right,
Good, then he can sign off on the
He
shit.
fucking never came in, never showed up, never showed up whatsoever. Just the whole thing was a game of drop the ball on me this time. I'm laying there just like thinking, what the fuck did I do to deserve this, man? Darcy keeps telling me, you didn't do anything to deserve it. I'm like, well, fuck, man. They are trying their best to fuck me over. Just one thing after another. You know, I posted that picture. Here's your breakfast, Mr. Autry. I'm laying in the bed. I can't get out. Fucking can't move. I got alarms I can't do.
Across the room
Yeah,
from you.
breakfast is here at 8 o'clock on the dot. I sit at 30 feet away from me across the room on the sink area. I'm like, well, there's my breakfast. I smell it. It's probably gonna suck anyway, but it's the only thing I fucking have to eat. And I was actually kind of hungry that morning. Finally, I
It's
hit the nurse's button. My nurse came in. She's like, "Yeah, do you need something?" And I'm like, "Yeah, my fucking breakfast has been sitting over there for 45 minutes, getting cold. I could use that." Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're not.
mm-mm.
Let me go heat it up for you. And then just like last time, the nutritionist came in, and wanted to have a chat with me, about the food and this and that. And I was like, yeah, the food sucks. He was like, well, that was a quick observation. I'm like, it's just truth, man. I said, he's like, what kind of diet are you on, And I said, well, I've lost a lot of weight over the last year. I said, I've been doing the carnivore diet. I said, I just want a high protein, no carbs, no sugar diet, you know? Okay, I'm going to put a note in that. Like, what would you consider a good breakfast? I'm like, a couple of boiled eggs and a piece of turkey sausage and maybe some fruit. I'm fine with it. I'm good with that. Not fruit out of a dole,
Yeah, no,
peaches,
like
heavy syrup,
fruit.
just like some grapes and a couple of strawberries cut up, a banana, whatever. So he was like, okay, I'll put that in your notes, and I'll just put you down for double protein. All right, man, I appreciate it. Very next breakfast, French toast with syrup. I'm like, I'm not eating this shit. What would you rather? Would you rather have pancakes? No, I would not like pancakes. The nutritionist came back in and I was like, dude, y'all have really got to do better than this, man.
Like, am I on candid
I know. I'm
camera?
like,
Like,
where's
what the fuck?
where's
Am
the
I getting
punchline?
pinched?
Are you Are you just
Where's
waiting? Yeah, were
Ashton?
you just waiting for me to throw these pancakes across the room, stick them to the window? What the hell is going on, man? I was like, where?
It's because they knew we called them cum cakes last
Yeah.
time.
I'm like, how? Can you explain to me how pancakes or waffles is any kind of protein, high protein? No. And
It's carbs and
I asked
sugar.
for, the one lady was like, "What do you want to drink with your lunch?" And I was like, "Well, what do you have?" And she's like, "Well, we have diet soda, we have water, Gatorade Zero," and that's what I'd been drinking was either water or Gatorade Zero. And I was like, "Diet soda, okay. What kind?" And she's like, "We have diet ginger ale." And I'm like, "All right, I'll take one of those." So they bring me the diet ginger ale, which is a full blown high fructose sugary soda, but it was in a half can. It wasn't a full can. It's in a half can. So they came back in. I was like, "So is this you guys' idea of a diet soda? It's just half the size. Shitload of sugar in it, but it's just half the size." Oh man. I can,
So I get like 2,000 calories for 2
yeah.
sips.
I mean, the last time I was in there, I just pretty much given up hope. They brought me one of those full on sugary sodas and banana pudding. And I was just like, "Oh, fuck it." And I just drank it and ate the pudding. And then they came in there, "We're going to have to give you some insulin. Your blood sugar is like spiked way up high." Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. You just gave me banana pudding and sugary soda. Duh. Do you actually work here? Because I don't. And I think I'm pretty positive I could do your job better than you.
But they need repeat
Yeah,
customers.
they don't fix you. They
It
just
does
treat you.
them no good to have you
Nope,
get well. Serves them no
none at all.
purpose to have you get well. And then to get to charge your not only your insurance but you for all these extra days that you shouldn't have been in there because of an
Yeah.
oversight. I mean, talk about kicking a guy in the groin when he's down.
Yeah, it was not fun. I am I am not going back there. You know,
Mm.
everybody, everybody bitches about the hospital that's here in town that's been here forever. I'd never go there. I don't know, man. But, when I had an ablation the last time, I went in, had it, came home the same day, got in bed, went to sleep, woke up the next morning, and felt like a brand new human being. Got right out of bed, no, like, no aches, no pains, no. I mean, fuck sakes, I got to use a walker or a cane now just to walk across the room. I can't even walk like normal. It's fucking ridiculous and very depressing. Darcy picked me up. I got my own cane now, just like a 90-year-old dirty grandpa. Hey, look at these big balls. It was good.
Come on, sit on my lap and bounce on these big balls. Like on South
Yep.
Park.
Oh man.
So,
They
wait.
always say things happen for a reason. I'm struggling to find the reason for this. You know,
Yeah.
I'm doing my best to look for it, but I'm pretty much struggling to find the reason. Trying to Yesterday was like I say, it was not good. I was hurting. I was depressed. I was feeling like shit. And like the more you hurt, the more you're an asshole. you know, and I don't know.
You try not to be, but you can't help it because it's like you constantly have that edge grinding on
Yeah,
you. So do you look up like the reviews between the hospitals and like what people say, because you know I'm going through my own issues with the hospitals, but um
We
did you ask for your records? I forgot. Have you
I'm gonna
gotten?
do that tomorrow. I've got I don't know, my chart portal thing on,
Okay,
and
cool.
I'm gonna request all that stuff tomorrow.
Yeah, before they start altering your
Yeah,
bearing
because
stuff.
something is happening. Like I say, my
Mhm.
insurance company seem, the reason they're denying paying for anything is they're like, you shouldn't have been in the hospital for an outpatient procedure. I'm like, well, obviously, nobody told you guys what the fuck I was actually in there for.
Because I wasn't sitting in there begging to
Yeah,
stay.
sitting in there playing backgammon with the other, you know, people in the waiting room, just hanging in.
You're like, I'm trying to get myself out, and they're, talking me into staying.
Yeah,
I wanted you to stay. I wanted you to go. But then when I found out that meant, oh, wait, that meant you didn't get to go home with your bag,
yeah,
wound bag, I was like, you're going to have to stay, man.
I know. I didn't want to.
Didn't want you to risk
Yeah,
infection.
that's the thing that scared me into staying.
Get off the lawn.
Yeah, I'm pissed off. I want to get up, fucking get out of here. I don't even give a shit if I'm wearing clothes. I'll just roll my naked ass out in a wheelchair, whatever. But yeah, that part kind of scared me. You know, it's like, what if I get home and I start bleeding again, or
Hmm.
which I have ever since I've been home, still been bleeding. But yeah, I just said, screw it. I'll stay. I'll play this fucking game. I'll just stay here. I'll stay here and try not to kill someone.
At least your home care nurse seems cool.
Yeah, yeah. My home nurse she's pretty awesome.
Who was the guy from like Sweden or whoever that used to come and he took your picture? Was he a physical
Yeah,
therapist, or are you going to get to see him again for any reason or
I
no?
should, but I don't have any physical therapy at all. None.
You're not going to need it for like starting to walk again after your legs?
Fucking definitely need it because I can barely walk. It's a struggle to fucking walk. So yeah, I need some sort of physical therapy. It's weird because especially my right leg and my foot swelled up. That's my right leg's the one that had the hematoma,
Oh,
and it just swelled up like, from fluid and shit. I had a leg that looked like a fucking hippopotamus leg. It was ridiculous. And like right now, Darcy wrapped my leg with it's sports tape. It's kind of like an ace bandage. Everybody knows what an ace bandage is, right?
yeah.
I went to CVS drugstore yesterday and I was like, where are the ace bandages at? And she's like, oh, honey, we don't sell those. I'm like,
But that stuff is cool. It like sticks and stays on.
she's like, yeah, we don't sell ace bandages anymore. I'm like, why? She's like, I don't know. She goes, you're not the first person to ask for them. She goes, everybody asks for them every day. She goes, we got sports tape over there. And I'm like, okay. So I got some of that. And then I went to Walgreens and I found they're sort of like ace bandages, but they're different a little bit. But they were the closest thing I could find.
Did you try the dollar store? I'm telling you, the cuts
Yeah,
are like smaller cuts and wider, but
yeah, I need to. Yeah, I need to go down to Dollar
do
General.
that because I stocked up on bandages there.
But yeah, I found some stuff that worked and got my leg wrapped up, and it helps. I got up this morning and Darcy unwrapped my leg, and I was like, holy shit, I don't look like I got an elephant leg. But man, initially putting my feet on the ground, my right leg like down my calf to the outside of my ankle. It feels like somebody's got a blowtorch on it. I mean,
Mm.
it's fucking excruciatingly painful. And I don't know what that is. I know it's not normal, you know. And Darcy being a nurse and my home health nurse, you know, she was like, "Have you been taking your blood thinners?" I'm like, "No." And she's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Well, because one, I don't like the shit. For two, I'm still bleeding, so why do I want to thin my blood if I'm still bleeding?" But today, I started taking them again this morning and tonight, you know, because now they're saying, well, we don't want you to get a blood clot in your leg. That could be what all this pain is. So now I'm all freaked out about getting a blood clot in my leg. So I started taking the fucking blood thinners again. It's just a never ending shit show. I don't know if I should be taking them or not. It doesn't make sense to be taking them, but at the same time, all the blood that was in my leg and in my groin and in my balls and still is, you know, it's like your body has to absorb that back out, you know, somehow. So, I mean, in a way, it makes sense to thin your blood so your body can hopefully absorb it easier. But I don't know.
But don't you kind of like if something happens, like you want it to clot?
Yeah. Oh yeah. If I get cut or something, yeah, I just
Like my dad had no platelets at all by the like closer to the end. Like he could barely get nicked, and like he would just keep on bleeding.
yeah
The blood thinners like kind of freak me out sometimes.
yeah Debbie. I don't have any numbness. I have all pain, all neuralgia, whatever that is. Yeah, that's me. Like it fucking hurts bad. And once I get on my feet, you know, I'm almost in tears for the first 5 minutes. But once I
Mm,
get on my feet, you know, and I just say fuck it, and I just put weight on my foot, you know, and just bear through it. Once I'm up on my feet after about 5 minutes or so, the pain goes away. I mean, it's still sore, but it's not like that just burning nightmare.
it's like that initial having to break it in and how to get used to it.
Yeah. And I noticed, you know, when I did go outside today and tonight, like right before the show, we had to go get water and fill up a bunch of jugs and stuff, you know, and of course, my poor wife's got to do all that because I can't lift anything over 5 pounds or whatever. And so I notice every time I take a step to come back in the house, and I don't have steps, I just have, you know, a little door like with a riser that's like 4 or 6 inches high. So it's not really even a step, but I'll step up on that and I get the starts of a leg cramp in the back of my leg.
Oh,
Oh, great. This is just what I need.
do you
So,
think you need like potassium or magnesium or something too?
yeah, I mean, all this fluid and everything else, you know, kind of depletes your magnesium or your potassium. So, one of my drugs that I'm taking has potassium in it, and I just been eating a couple bananas today to hopefully help with it.
Gatorade, is that? I can't remember if there's potassium in there or not.
I make my own. I'm drinking this stuff right now. That's forget what it's called. It's made by Ensure.
I was just gonna ask you if you get those insured or like those carnation breakfast, like the things with all the vitamins.
Well, I take a multivitamin, and I didn't want to take those because they're like jam full of sugar and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But this stuff that I'm drinking, it's made by Ensure, but it's sugar free and it's like super high protein, which helps with healing. So I'm trying one of these out for the first time tonight. You know, Tastes okay. But I normally make my own. I was drinking those LMT,
Mhm.
and it's a hydration thing, and everybody's like, oh, you can't have salt, you can't have this. Well,
No, yeah.
it's got salt in it. It's got salt, potassium.
Salt is good for you.
Yeah. And I drink those and I instantly feel better, and it's not like I drink them and my legs swell up like a pumpkin or anything, even though they were. It wasn't from the drink though, it's from all the trauma that I had. But yeah, I mean, I came home from the hospital and I was having really bad headaches, which used to be kind of normal for me. But I know I've always bitched to Jamie about having a headache, but they kind of went away, and haven't had a bad one in a long time. But man, in the hospital, whew, I had a couple doozies, and I came home with one, and I don't know if it was just stress or just whatever, but came home and I mixed one of those hydration drinks up and just chugged it, and 30 minutes later my headache was gone. So I definitely think they work.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody's so freaked out, oh, you can't have salt. Like even in the hospital, I'm on a heart healthy diet. It wouldn't give me salt. They bring their signature herb pack, which tasted like burnt hair. But yeah, no salt, nothing. The nurse came in and I was eating boiled eggs with nothing on them. I just cut them up and was eating them, and she was like, looking at me. She's like, "How do you eat those with nothing on them?" I'm like, "Cause y'all won't give me anything to put on them. So what am I gonna do? If I can throw them in the trash, I'm just gonna eat them." And it was the only, the scrambled eggs that they bring you. They're not eggs. They're some
Nah.
powdered slop that doesn't even really taste. At least the boiled eggs were actually eggs.
Mhm.
So I figured that was a safe bet.
Because the other stuff's just from a carton.
Yeah, powdered eggs.
Yeah.
These taste like buffalo buttholes.
A lot of doctors I follow it's coming out how important salt really is, how we've been lied to. Same with like cholesterol, the real blood pressure, the sun exposure, like basically everything has been a complete lie.
Yeah,
And that's, for us to do the opposite of what's actually good for us.
yeah. But yeah, I make my own electrolyte drink.
Mm,
I ordered potassium. I use Redmond salt and magnesium, and I just have these little like cups, like you would get ketchup or some shit in. And I just mix it up on the LMT website. They actually tell you, they give you a recipe to make their stuff. It's like, it's pretty cool. I mean, they could keep it a secret, but they're like, hey, here's what's in it. Here's how to make it for yourself. Here's how to save money. Because they're not that expensive, but they add up. If you drink one every day, like a box of these things is like $60. So they start
see,
adding.
they're more interested in actually helping people get better.
Yeah. But yeah, I just measure everything out, on a little scale, measuring all this white powder out. Feel like what's his name from Breaking Bad.
Hmm.
But yeah, I just make my own up, and then I have all these little cups, and I can throw water and ice in a cup and just dump it in there, stir it up, boom, good to go. and they work awesome. I use this drink flavoring stuff that is sweetened with stevia, and just put a little squirt of that in there and gives it a flavor. I prefer strawberry kiwi.
Ooh,
I've
I
also
like
got
some
lemonade,
strawberry kiwi.
but yeah, pretty good stuff. And
You've always been good at making your own concoctions.
yeah,
It's the male witch in you,
yeah,
kitchen witch,
kitchen witching.
kitchen witchin'. Herbs and ailments, kind of like cooking. I call my mom a kitchen witch because she makes all those different soups and things with turmeric and all sorts of like mixes things that are supposed to do all these different things to help your body. I'm like, right on, you're like a kitchen witch. She's
Yeah,
got like little plants around there. So I like that, yeah.
yeah,
I'm like, you healed through food.
yeah. I mean, you and me have both said. I mean, there's, you know, God, whatever, provided everything here on Earth to like fix us without all this synthetic bullshit and all these chemicals and prescription drugs and everything. And, when it comes down to it, none of that stuff fixes you. It just treats your symptoms. It doesn't fix you, you know?
Like it's not a cure. None of it's like a cure to where you never have to take it again. Take this, my skin's gonna get better, and I never have to take it again after 6 months. I'm
Yeah.
cured.
A lot of people still, you know, kind of sham me on the diet that I've been doing. But, up until this, I mean, even when I had the heart attack, my doctor told me it's not from your diet whatsoever. He's like, you've had this, your heart's been screwed up for a long time and it finally just caught up with you. And if it wasn't for your diet and exercising, you'd be dead. I mean, he flat out just said that. And but yeah, I got a couple of friends that are, it's because you eat all that meat. I'm like, whatever. You do you, I'll do me. I ain't forcing you to do shit. So, but even being on, this diet and stuff, it's like this whole week I just haven't, like today I ate I ate a little um ribeye steak, that was like maybe 5 ounces or something. And I just ate it because I hadn't eaten anything. I didn't eat anything last night. I hadn't eaten breakfast or anything. I just knew I needed to eat something. So I ate that today, but I just haven't even been hungry. And I don't know if that's just part of it or if it's just part of me just not feeling it lately. I do remember waking up in the hospital one morning, the morning that they set my shitty breakfast across the room. I woke up like 6 o'clock, 6:30, and I was like, I smell coffee. I'm like, oh man, I know the hospital coffee is the worst, shittiest coffee I've ever tasted in my entire life, but it smelled good. And I was like, I can't wait for breakfast. I was actually hungry that morning. Then they bring it in. They're like, neener, neener, neener. We're going to put it across the room so you can't reach it. Like, you dick bags. And when the lady set it there, I was like, hey, can you put it on my tray? Oh, as she was leaving, she's like, I'll be back in just a minute. No, she never came back. And they brought me, what was it? They brought me something. Oh, it was some kind of chicken. And, when she came in earlier that day, she was like, I want to say it was like jerk chicken or something. I can't remember what it was. But that shit was nasty. It was horrible. I'm like, how do you make a piece of chicken taste this shitty? What do you put on it to make it taste this bad? Chicken's a pretty, palatable meat. You can make it taste like whatever. And they did their best to make it taste like burnt ass. I mean, I lifted the lid off of it, and Darcy was across the room, and she's like, "What stinks?" I'm like, "That's my food." She's like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "Yeah, it's freaking horrible." You know, like I said before, not my job. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not shit, but I could do that job better than the people that are doing it right now. Hands down, no questions asked. I have 100% confidence I could make people better food than what's going on down there right now. And man, let me tell you, one afternoon, evening, midday, I don't know what time it was. It's all a blur. There was a dude down the hall from me, and this dude was screaming bloody fucking murder. That's what it sounded like was happening, was somebody was getting murdered. This dude was Darcy was on the phone with me. She's like, "Oh my god, I can hear him on the phone." This dude was losing his mind. And I'm like, I started getting worried. I'm like, is my door closed? Because I don't want some crazy ass dude come running in here with a gun or a steak knife or something. I mean, this dude was out and out, flipping out, screaming at the top of his lungs. I'm like, that's always good for people to be in the hospital and have to hear. Oh, just go ahead and try to rest, get some rest. As this dude's sounds like he's getting his lungs ripped out with a lawnmower. But apparently, my nurse came in later that evening. I'm like, dude, you got some splaining to do. He's like, what? I'm like, what in the hell happened down the hallway? And he started laughing. He's like, oh, you heard that, huh? And I'm like, how could I not? I think the people out in the parking garage heard that. He's like, yeah, we were having to put an NG tube in this old guy, and he was not having it. He just came out of surgery and was still kind of loopy. And yeah, he lost his mind. I'm like, damn, I'm glad he found it somewhere, because holy hell, that dude was flipping out. To the point of it was kind of starting to scare me. So I'm like, what in the hell could they be doing to this guy? I mean, I know, like I said earlier, when I was, everybody was climbing on top of me and pressing on me. That was the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. I didn't scream like that, you know. I let a few f bombs go, but yeah, I kept my cool through the whole thing. I kept my tears hidden. And actually, what gets me through stuff like that is breathing. You know,
Yeah,
deep breaths in through my nose and out through my mouth, and just almost like a meditative.
breath work is the best.
Yeah, I mean that's when I had my heart surgery. There were some pretty intense moments after, and recovery and all this, and yeah, I remember telling myself, breathe, Rob, just breathe. You got this. Just breathe. Just breathe and don't stab a bitch.
I like that song. Just breathe. Yeah, and don't stab it, bitch. That's right.
Mm.
But the breath work, it just
And
helps so much.
yeah, it does. It really does.
It controls things. It controls your heart. It can control your pain.
Yeah. Darcy always freaks out because I can change my blood. I can drop my blood pressure.
Hmm.
It's just from breathing.
That's
That's
how
how.
people pass lie detectors.
Yeah. And yeah, and like other things, like like I say, they dropped the ball on me like numerous times. Just all kinds of crazy shit. And this guy came in. He was a male nurse, and you know, I mean, I don't want to talk shit about him because he was a cool dude, and we had some pretty cool like spirituality talks and stuff, and he's a good dude, but he his arm was screwed up. He got in a motorcycle wreck years ago, and basically almost lost his arm and his leg. So his arm was like total. It was just there, but it was just kind of hanging. He didn't have like 100% use of it. And he's like, "All right, I'm gonna try to put an IV in you here." And he was using his gimpy hand, and I'm hard. My veins get shy. I got fat arms, so I'm always hard to get an IV in the first place. So I got this dude, with a gimpy arm, and he's holding the needle, you know, like this, and he's like getting up on my arm, and he's like, poke, poke, dig, dig, poke, dig, and I was like, dude, do you got this? He's like, oh, I'm sorry, man, I'm sorry. And I was like, all right, I said, go ahead, keep doing what you're doing. Said, but I'm gonna tell you, this shit's starting to hurt. I'm sorry, man, I'm sorry. He tried for like another 5 minutes, and then he just stops, and he's like, dude, I'm gonna go get somebody. I'm gonna go get somebody better than me. And he went. He did, and this other dude came back, and boom, right in, no problem. He was in and out. But when they left, I'm looking at my table, and like when they put this thing in my neck and all that, it had to be stitched up and everything with the line in my neck. And when they left, I'm looking on my table, and I'm like, I don't think just randomly leaving a brand new scalpel on the table of a patient, I don't think that's a good idea. Because if I was pissed off, I would have had a shiv right there that would have sliced somebody from ear to ear, and they left like IVs in these packages and bandages and scalpels, and all this shit was just laying on my tray. So I just gathered it all up and put it in my lunchbox and took it home with me. It was all unopened. But yeah, I was just like, what the? Who leaves a freaking brand new scalpel just laying in front of a patient where they can just grab it and do whatever,
Oh my
What if I'm
goodness.
depressed and I want to just cut my own throat? I mean, what if I'm pissed at a nurse and I want to cut her throat? I mean, safety protocol, people. Have you ever heard of it? Don't leave freaking razor sharp scalpels in the reach of a patient. Yeah, I don't know, man. Just the whole stay was like that. It was just one clusterfuck after the other. One drop the ball, blame it on this, blame it on that. I asked my doctor that initially did the ablation. I'm like, what happened? What do you mean, what happened? I'm like, what happened? Oh, I mean, nothing. Why do you say that? I'm like, well, because of the shape I'm in, because internal bleeding, because, you know, everything that's happened. Well, I mean, sometimes things just happen, and you're a trooper, man. I can't believe your heart's still in sinus rhythm after all you've been through. Okay, man. Thank you. No, no fucking sorry for the pain. Sorry for, you know, sorry it didn't go the way it's planned. No, nothing. Just like question me like I was being a dick for asking. Felt like saying, no, you can think I'm a dick when I jump out of this bed and strangle you on the fucking floor. That's what it felt like doing. But I was in no shape to jump out of the bed. So damn it. Mm. But like Gloria Gaynor said, I will survive. I think that's who said that.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. It's been a rough one. But like Gloria Gaynor said, I will survive. What is happening? I do not know. I think that's it. Yeah, it was definitely a game of drop the ball. Same with, when I asked about my paperwork, that never got pushed through so I could take the wound back home. It was like, they just looked at me like, why are you asking?
Ugh.
Because I'm fucking laying here for a couple extra days for no reason than other than somebody fucked up, obviously, and nobody wants to admit to it. That's why I'm asking. Wasn't me that fucked up.
And are you writing like this is something, like I know I always play the show mom, but then when I talk to my mom, she tells me her stuff to pass along to you guys too sometimes to make it worse on you. But she says, remind him if he's not writing down names, like try to remember everybody's names that he dealt with and who told him what, and write it all down now before he forgets anything.
Yeah.
I said he's probably doing stuff like that, but I'll remind him because she
Yeah.
said, you forget fast. And then when you do get one of these people to help you, it's easier when you have it all written out, which I was supposed to do for myself with my stuff. And I said I did, but
Yeah.
and she's like, it better not just be all saved on your phone. I said, no, it's not, but it really is. And I still haven't done what I have to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Like when I was saying, I may have had like some sort of fit or a mini stroke or something. That the last day that I did get up and go to the bathroom, I went in the bathroom, and I went to sit on the toilet, and I like jerked, and my arm hit the wall,
Oh,
and it was like an involuntary, just spastic jerk, wham, and everybody was like, my nurse was like, "Are you okay?"
like when Costanza got the arm.
Yeah, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And it kind of freaked me out for a minute because what the hell was that? But she's asking me, "Are you okay?" And I could hear Darcy asking me, "Are you okay?" And my nurse at that point, she was this lady from the Philippines, so she's got a real heavy Filipino accent, and I liked her. She was a little overbearing to
I
say.
love Filipino women.
Yeah, I mean, she was cool. I liked her, and
Like
she
Thailand
was
and
just,
Filipino women. I just love how
yeah,
straight up they are. A
yeah. I
lot
mean,
of
she
them.
was just trying to do her job, and
Mhm.
but she was on me like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you?" And I was saying, I could understand what they were saying, but I was saying, "Yeah, I'm fine. Yes, yes." But in my mind, when I would answer, is all I could hear myself saying was, it was all just like I was underwater talking, or
Oh
just,
my gosh. But was your voice actually coming out clear to them?
I think so, yeah. But I couldn't understand, I don't even know how to explain it, but you talk and you hear yourself in your head,
Yeah.
you hear yourself physically, but I couldn't
And if
understand
your
what
ears are plugged up or something underwater, you hear like what that sounds like. Or when you have headphones in.
yeah, but I couldn't understand what I was saying. And so it really freaked me out, which kind of
That's
caused me
creepy.
to have a panic attack, and
Yeah.
but yeah, it was not good. But ever since then, like especially that afternoon, I was having a hard time like texting and typing. Like I would type something, and I mean I don't type worth of shit anyways, but this was like times 10, not worth of shit. If I was typing "Hey Jamie," it would be like "Abacadabra."
But I understood what you meant is the crazy thing. I was able to figure it out.
Yeah, I would have to stop, and just delete it and just go back. and go slow and type it, or I was doing voice to text, which we all know will definitely screw you up sometimes too. But yeah, I was just having a hard time, and I was looking at the clock, and I'm like, what time is it? And whatever, 10 after 2, and I'm like, just having a hard time understanding the clock. So I knew something wasn't firing right in my head, and it's still. I mean, I can look at the clock now and tell what time it is fine, especially if it's digital. But but still, I still, I'll be texting or writing something.
And you stop and you're just staring at it like, wait, huh?
What the fuck is wrong with me?
You don't even know what you just did, and you have to like go back.
Like, why is this so hard? I'm just trying to type a sentence. So I know something. I probably roasted a few thousand brain cells during that episode, but hopefully it'll continue to get better.
And then no wonder what the clock, when the clock is doing what the clock was doing. I
Yeah,
mean, that's not
yeah,
even funny. The video you did on YouTube though with the song, I mean, TikTok was funny
yeah,
because you put the music behind it, and it's like, or the quote behind it.
yeah. I'm just laying there, and I like
It's like, come
look.
on, don't tell me they're not trying to trip you all out.
I know. I look at the clock, and it's just the hands are just spinning. I'm like, am I in the fucking Twilight Zone? What is happening right now?
Like, come the fuck on.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. Well, at least I had the sense to like say, hey, I'm making a TikTok out of this.
And you send it to people. It's like, yeah, I could validate. There's definitely something wrong with the clock. You're seeing it right. Craig says sounds like low oxygen.
Yeah, it may have been. I was on. They kept putting me on oxygen at night. I was on like only like 1 liter, so it was pretty low. But I had the little tube in my nose, and because at night
Oh
my
wow.
oxygen saturation would drop, and they kept, do you have sleep apnea? And I'm like, no, not that I know of. Well, your oxygen keeps dropping. I'm like, yeah, because I'm laying flat on my back and I'm not a back sleeper. But yeah,
I never knew Debbie was a military wife.
ah,
Yeah, some of them can be crazy. I mean, I'm not saying all of them, but for the most part, and I've had some that were in family that had married an ex's grandpa when he was in the war, um, and he came back with his wife, but she was just great. I loved her.
yeah, this lady she was cool. She was. I liked her. She was just a little too much at times. But she was good. She did everything she was supposed to, and was, if I asked for something, she'd go get it. I mean, when I came out of the bathroom, you know, she was like, "You need me to wipe you?" I'm like, "Oh God." She said, "Oh no, no, no worry, no worry, no worry." She just jumped right in. We do this for everyone. I'm like, yeah, sucks, but thank you.
Yeah,
It sucks when you go in the hospital and you're just you lose everything, and it's like no dignity. It's all taken from you, and pretty soon you're just like, oh fuck it, just yeah, whatever, whatever.
I
Just gonna
was so sick from like liver. I had a liver problem. I had jaundice. I was like gonna die. I was in ICU when I was like a freshman, or yeah, freshman or sophomore. Well, that's when we had ROP. Like I did ROP for the Cruise of Children later. Well, they had it for hospital for people. When you're junior and a senior, you can start doing that. So I'm in the hospital, like I'm like so out of it. My gowns on, it starts to fall. They have to come put. You're just like, when you just let them do whatever they have to do because you just have no shame anymore, and
yeah,
it just has to get done. But all of a sudden, like these people came in and the nurses, and they were actual students from my school that were going to give me like a sponge bath and stuff. And
Oh yeah,
that's when, I was so sick, but I'm like, no, I said, no, I cannot have people I go to school with
yeah,
involved in this. This is just way too weird.
yeah.
So,
It's weird.
yeah, luckily I got out of that one, but you just learn to I mean, you have no choice.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, first thing they did was give me a gown that doesn't fit. I'm a fat dude. I sorry, I don't wear a small or a medium. And they give me a gown that's too small, so my ass is totally hanging out of it. Yeah, they're like, oh, this
Going to happen.
this gown's too small. If you get up, you're gonna be showing everything. I'm like,
Well, I guess
whatever.
maybe you find a bigger gown.
Yeah, like whatever. Won't be the first
I
time.
don't want to see
Yeah,
it.
yeah. But I'm sure you've seen plenty of asses working here. What's
Yeah, and who
you
cares
just
at this
you just
point?
you get to a point where you just like whatever. There was a male nurse that came in, and he was there during the whole hardcore incident, with trying to manually bleed my hematoma and all. And he was like, dude, you are a fucking trooper, man. He's like, I know that shit had to hurt. And I'm like, you absolutely are correct. It's literally the worst pain I've ever felt in my entire life. He's like, man, because you handled it like a champ. He's like, you have any questions or anything? And I said, I can tell you one thing. I said, if you ever have this done and it goes the route that it went for me, I pulled my gown back and I said, I hope your balls don't look like mine. Uh, Darcy was just like, oh my God. Like, he started laughing and he was kind of like, yeah. It's like, yeah, that's pretty. I'm like, yeah, no, dude. No, dude.
Bob's got the biggest balls of them all.
Yeah. Being a dude, that, cliche, whatever, you come out of surgery, you're laying there, you get your brain back, in your head. And you're like, oh, you take a breath and you're like, oh, is my junk still there? I reached down and felt my nuts and I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, time for another panic attack.
Because,
Yeah.
like, on top of everything else, then you can't even, like, close your legs right, can
No,
you?
you can't walk. You can't sit down. You can't do shit.
Because I'm picturing, of course, South Park, which is, like, extreme, but
Darcy was like, I was like, I said something, she was looking and I was like, sorry for my ginormous wrinkly balls. And she's like, honey, there's no wrinkles left. Your balls are all shiny and it looks
they're
like
like bowling balls.
it looks like an eggplant. I'm like, oh
A
my
big one, oh no.
God. It's all shiny.
Purple, too, huh?
Yeah. Like that is something a dude just never wants to hear or deal with. But
And what I'm wondering, like, you know
it's all,
how, like, what?
it's all I could do, That's why I showed the male nurse. I'm like, I hope your balls never look like this. That's all you can do at that point is just laugh about it. It's like, holy shit, you want to see something scary? Check this out.
Yeah. I'm surprised though them pushing on you didn't cause like an actual infection. Like with the thing on my top of my cat's head, remember I told you like it started to bleed and then like by pushing down it like made it kind of swell and then like the pressure swelled up inside and then like caused an infection.
Yep.
So I'm surprised by them like manually pushing like that didn't like
Yeah.
cause the pressure to build up and get infected or swell up worse.
Yeah, like afterwards, that like my doctor, that Dr. Kevorkian, that tried that.
Upside down purple heart emoji.
Yeah, he they called him to come in when all hell was breaking loose, and he had to unstitch me. He came in, and at one point, I probably don't have all this right because I was kind of out of it, but I do remember him coming in and going, "Oh, everything looks fine." And I remember like one of the head nurses there, she kind of like had this weird look, kind of tilted her glasses, and he left, and she was like, "You better go get him and tell him to come back here and put his glasses on because this is not all right." She was pissed, and I'm like, awesome. So that's another confidence builder that my shit is messed up. But yeah, my doctor that did this, he's just like, "Oh, why do you have like, what makes you think something went wrong?" I don't know. I almost fucking died. Other than that, nothing, I guess. Call me crazy.
Hey, we got no secrets here, Deborah.
Yeah.
It's all open.
Yep.
How's the swelling and like feeling now? Because you it's up past 11:11.
Yeah.
Um,
Swelling's gone down a little bit. Like the the hatchet mark in my leg is still draining, and it's Darcy's been changing my dressing every day. They were going to do it every 3 days, but it's just been draining and bleeding so much. She's just like, "Fuck it, we're going to change it every day." And at first, the first few times, I ain't gonna lie, yeah, that shit hurt. Because they're like peeling,
like
bandages.
dried off stuff.
Yeah, and got to wash the wound out and everything, and it hurt. But now, I don't know, like if it's a sign of healing, but I'm like real itchy, like everything itches.
I knew that was coming.
And like my nurse this morning, she caught me off guard. She texted me at like 8:45, and she's like, "Is now a good time?" And I was still in bed. Hell, last night I took some muscle relaxers and a couple Xanax. I was fucking out. I was out like a light. For some reason, I heard my phone this morning, and I woke up, and she's like, I'm basically here right now," and I was like, "Oh, dude." Darcy was still in the bed asleep, 'cause she didn't get home till late, and I try not to wake her up in the morning because she's been working all these crazy hours. I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, dude, it's gonna take me 10, 15 minutes just to get out of bed and get on my feet. And I texted her that. I said, any way of coming later today? And she's like, well, I have admissions in Ponte Vedra and some other places all day. It would be tonight. And I'm like, well, tonight's okay. I said, if you can do me on my couch in the living room, I guess I'm okay with that if you are. And she's like, yeah, we could do it on the couch. So I'm like, all right, front door's open. I opened it with my phone. Front door's open. You can come on in.
Money's on the nightstand.
Yeah. So I just laid on the couch and let her do her thing. But yeah, it's not like, you know, I told her, I'm like, you got to give me at least 15 minutes because that's literally how long it takes me to get out of bed and get my feet under me, to take a few steps. It's not like it used to be where I just roll over, throw my feet on the ground, and boom, out the door. That's all long
The door
gone.
you went.
Yeah. But Yeah, she's cool. She's like a little country lady. She kind of, in a way, reminds me of my mom. But at the same time, home health. But like the first time she showed up, she brought, all these different kinds of bandages and this silver, whatever it's called, these pads that have silver in them, and all these different dressings. And we've been buying that shit now, just to have here because we're changing this every day. And she keeps using all the stuff that we bought,
No,
and it's the shit's not cheap.
no.
I mean, Darcy went to CVS tonight, probably spent 60, $80 in bandages and shit.
She should be using her own stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck it, we're hiding that shit from now on.
Yeah. Oh my
And
goodness.
she went to work and she mentioned it to one of her coworkers that's dealt with home health, and she's like, "Oh no, if you have stuff there, they will use it. They won't use their own stuff. They'll use yours."
That's bullshit.
Hell no, I'm hiding that shit
Yeah,
from
you
them.
hide the lock up the whole
Darcy
emergency kit.
don't want her using something shitty, because we're hiding our stuff. And I'm like, whatever.
Well, yeah, but if you're getting stuff with like silver lining, like I don't know.
Forget what it's called, but yeah, it's supposed to. She's like, "Are you allergic to silver by any chance?" And I'm like, "No, not that I know of. I make silver jewelry. I've used silver. What's that stuff called? Purple shit. I forget what it's called. It's like a liquid silver something."
Yeah, my mom's friend, she's for her thing or whatever it is, or arthritis, something like that. There's like some
Yeah,
sort of like something like lined with silver in it, fused with silver that they give her.
yeah,
That's supposed to
colloidals.
help and tell her to wear silver. And
I remember the first time I used colloidal silver. I had put it on my feet or something, and I didn't realize that it's like it'll stain your feet or wherever you put it, it'll stain everything purple. I came out of there looking like fucking Barney with purple feet. Hi, kids. Check out my purple feet.
I always liked those pads. I thought they worked really good because eventually, like, they would fade down, but you put them on your feet and it's like some Chinese something or other, and it draws like all the toxins out through your feet. Like if you're on medication and all that, when you first take them off, it looks like pretty black,
Yep.
and then like it slowly starts to fade away. But I think those things work, but they were like pretty expensive. And
Yeah.
then I thought I found a home hack how to make something like that, but I lost it.
Mm. But yeah, this makes my recovery from my open heart surgery. There's no comparison to which ones this is hands down 10 times worse. Because at least having my chest sawed open and my heart taken out and poked around, messed with, and put back together, and titanium wire in my chest and all that. At least I had like full function of my legs, and it hurt, of course. Took a few weeks to for the pain to go away. Where I had to be careful moving. God, you're afraid as hell of sneezing or anything. But at least I was mobile, and I only used my walker for 2 days after I came home from open heart surgery. I mean, they had me on my feet walking the night of my surgery. And this
Twice.
this is just, man, like in the morning, yeah. If I'm not using a walker to get to the bathroom, I ain't getting to the bathroom. It's brutal. Once I'm up on my feet after 20, 30 minutes, maybe I walk like I walk like Fred Sanford, you know. But At least I'm walking. But yeah, open heart surgery was a piece of cake compared to recovering from this. I was back with my band playing on stage 4 or 5 weeks after my surgery. This is like,
Even through a disc or two.
yeah, yeah, this is,
Fishing, you're taking your rig out.
yeah, back fishing, doing the whole 9 yards.
And you'll be doing all that again soon again. This is just going to be a slower healing.
I hope, I hope so, because man, the light at the end of the tunnel right now is very depressing. It seems like it's so far away. But I think like the
But
first,
there is a light.
yeah, I think the first day or two when I came home from the hospital, how depleted. I mean, I couldn't take my socks off. That kicked my ass. I couldn't do anything. And, I think back to that and then how well I recovered from it. So, yeah, this is just going to take longer. I'm not bouncing back like I did the first time around. But, still here. I still got determination. I got a we got a big show coming up September 21st. I'm going to try to make that. I'm going to probably go to a band practice or two just because it's in my buddy's garage. It's kind of a studio and it's AC and all that. So, I can just pull my stool up and sit there and play, sing, whatever. But yeah, we got a big gig coming up on September 21st, and I'm hoping to make that gig. We'll see. It's still a ways away, thank God.
It's still a ways away. I think you have a good chance. Well, I'll pray for you
Thank you, thank you.
and that you can heal and be able to make the show.
Prayer definitely helps.
Especially prayer and group when everybody has the same intent and motive. Yes, we want you here. I
I
don't
just
know what I would do without my Rob. That's the scaredest you've ever had me.
I was pretty scared too.
Yeah, and that's what also included, like, added to my being scared because I gauge how scared I should be off of how scared you are because you're so, nonchalant with certain things. And I know when you say certain things that's pretty serious. And I knew this was pretty serious. And
Yeah, it's funny. Like I was saying when my nurse was here, talking about the itching on my leg and all. She's like, she's pulling the bandages off me, and she's like, "I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry." Like the first day she did it, I thought she was going to start crying. I'm like, "I'm good." She's like, "Gosh, you must have a high pain tolerance." She was
don't,
pulling them up this morning, and she's like, I'm sorry, I know this hurts," and I'm like, "Actually, it kind of feels good." And she's like, "What?"
because it's ripping the tickle parts.
Yeah, it's like I'm itching like hell, so it kind of, I'm pulling these bandages off. Kind of feels good, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. Because, like, if it pulls certain hairs or pulls certain skin, it's almost like when I itch really bad from like eczema and then I go put it under like hot ass water, it like burns, but it takes the itch away.
Yeah, yeah. When I did get home,
I
um,
was worried about like your hair growing back and then the swelling going down and then the heat. I'm like, ooh, you're going to have some really itchy areas.
I have lost so much hair. It's insane. I don't know if it's from anesthesia or just stress or what, but
Like in your head or on your body.
like everywhere, especially my head. Like I brush my hair. There's enough hair in my brush to make a wig for a small kid. It's ridiculous. Like just handfuls of hair. It's kind of freaking me out a bit. But yeah. I
I'd
don't know.
look into how normal that is.
Yeah, I've heard, a lot of times anesthesia can make your hair fall out,
Really?
but I didn't know that. Craig says you can put a silver coin in milk and it won't spoil. That's a trip. I didn't know that. Yeah, it's weird. Weird how silver and gold and crystals and all that works.
And we're all pumped up with aluminum.
Some people are like, "What do you mean you're into crystals? It's just a rock." Not really. Yeah, technically, sort of. I guess it could be, but no. There's a whole lot more to it than that.
Yeah. People are silly.
Yeah. Well, groovy, groovy. I think I'm gonna go to bed. I'm
Yeah, I
gonna
gotta get to wake up.
pop me a couple more pills and take a siesta.
Take me some Xanax and some Mota.
I don't ever take. They were trying to give me pain pills and stuff in the hospital, and I'm like, nope, just give me some Tylenol. I'll be fine.
Yeah,
Seriously.
because you really can't take. I found out after they were giving me cocktails for so long. I wondered why I was so screwed up with the Soma and the Xanax, the Norco, and whatever else. Oh, some other nerve damage. Anyway, that's considered a cocktail, just those three.
Yeah.
And they're giving it to me like every day and like on a high dose. And then later on, I find out, well, shoot, like you can actually stop breathing from too much
Yeah.
like opiates with Xanax and stuff. And they had me on like the worst cocktail possible.
Yeah. I've been taking tramadol, which technically nowadays it is an opioid. They list it as that, but tramadol is basically like a pumped up Tylenol in a way.
Hmm.
But
It's
yeah,
a non-narcotic, right? A non-narcotic pain reliever, or is it narcotic?
man, it's supposed to be. Let me look it up real quick. It used to be a non-narcotic, but I think something changed in it. Tramadol.
Uh-oh. He pushed the wrong button. He was probably trying to push something on Google and accidentally clicked out. Let's just see if he comes back, because I'm not quite sure how to end this on my end. Well, I want to say good night to everybody right now. If he doesn't come back, it's good to see everybody. And I'm glad everybody got to come together and catch up with us and catch up with Rob and get his feet back in the water again. They gave me that Rob doesn't even touch the pain I have. And so blessings to all of you. Blessings to all of you. Have a great, wickedly weird, wild Wednesday. Whoever has still some little bits of time left, I still got half an hour here. And have a wonderful rest of your week. Lots of love, light, laughter, blessings, and We will see you possibly next week, depending how things go. And I think there's a paranormal soup. So I love you all. I hope I got to say hi to everybody who came in. And I'm going to try to figure out how to stop the recording on my end. So you might still be seeing me sitting here for a second while I figure this out, but um, I'll turn my camera off. Love you all.
Well, I don't know if you guys are still here, but my computer just decided to update itself right in the middle of the show and knocked me offline. So there you go. There you have it. If you're still here, thanks for hanging out. Listen to me ramble.
All right, I'm still here. I was trying to figure out how to close it out, and then I was trying to figure out how to change my this to a photo.
Ah, yeah. I look up and Darcy came in and she's like, nobody can hear you. I'm like, what?
Ah,
She's like, you're not online. Okay. I look up and it says finish update. She's like, yeah, appreciate that updating right in the middle of my show.
yeah.
Awesome possum. Anyways, it's time for me to go to bed. Anyways, so
Okay.
thanks everybody for hanging out, and glad I got to spend some time with my favorite homie here too.
Me too. I fixed it. Me too. I love you lots.
Love you a long time.
Love you long time. I hope you sleep good tonight.
Oh, I will.
I know you will.
Yep. It's cool. I may come on the first part of Jason's show if he has one this coming Sunday. Probably won't be there for the whole thing, but I'll come on and do the weird wide web of weird unless something spectacular happens. But yeah, love
And
you guys.
he's been cutting those like into actual, like he's been cutting the shows into two parts. Like he'll have the full on show with everything, but he's making another video with just the World Wide Web of Weird sections, like as
Cool.
its own little video lately.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, cool. Again, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for listening to my rambles. I'll probably see you guys next week. Everybody take care of each other. And yeah, you never know when shit'll change and you could be gone in the blink of an eye, or whoever you're hanging out with could be gone in the blink of an eye. I had another friend that was just, you know, always one of those dudes and always around, always helping everybody. Hopped on his motorcycle last week, took off, and never came back because he got in an accident, got killed. So he's done. And it's weird when you're talking to somebody and you never know, it could be the last time. I don't know. Would it be good to know if it was the last time ahead of time? That's a question to think about. You probably wouldn't want to let him go if you knew it was the last time you're going to see him. Anyway, that's something to think about. I don't know. Anyways, love all you guys. Thanks for everything. And we'll talk at you again soon. Hopefully next week we'll do some cards and get back to the normal routine of shizzle around this joint.
Because I got lots of crazy weird I've been saving.
Oh, cool. All right, then.